What up, y'all? J. Roos Theory here to put you in a visual time machine. It's been 26 years to the day that me and my mother drove from San Diego all the way to Vegas to go watch Lennox Lewis get payback on Oliver McCall, February 7, 1997. That was like one of the best days of my life. I got to meet Frank Maloney, his mother, Lennox Lewis. I met his mother, Jim Lampley, took pictures with Jim Lampley, Lennox Lewis. Um, Met just a lot of people. Met Arnie Beam, Lennox Lewis's first trainer. Um, I had like this magazine of Lennox Lewis. It was like laminated. No, it wasn't laminated at the time anyway. Arnie Beam asked to look at it. I met Lennox's high school buddy. His name was God, it's been so long. What was his name? What was his name? Hold on, water break. I hate that I lost contact with his high school buddy. Um, I had even made a song for Lennox Lewis, and I got to go to the after party at the All Star Cafe, and I gave it to Lennox Lewis's strength conditioner guy. I don't know if Lewis ever heard it, but I gave him the tape at the time. It was a tape. That's how long ago it was. But it was such a great night, man. Um, Weird night too, because as you know, or if you don't know, go back and watch Lennox Lewis, Oliver McCall too. The first fight, McCall beat Lennox Lewis in the second round, knocked him down. Lennox Lewis got up, wobbled, and they gave it to McCall. So McCall took his belt, and McCall was trained by Emmanuel Stewart. So Lennox Lewis did the smart thing. He got Emmanuel Stewart for the rematch and worked with him to the end of his career. So for the rematch, Lennox Lewis had Emmanuel Stewart in his corner, and McCall just wasn't ready to fight. There's an interview of him on YouTube where he's talking about, I think, what was going on with him that night, but he wasn't ready to fight that night. He had a nervous breakdown and broke down in the ring, and it was just bad. I mean, no one knew what to do. But we had never seen anything like that. The referee at the time was Mills Lane, and he didn't even know what to do. He was saying, "What? Do you want to fight? Like, what's going on?" And he was just crying. He was having a breakdown. It's so sad to see. But McCall's one of the toughest dudes in boxing history. Used to be sparring partners with Mike Tyson, and I believe he even knocked Mike Tyson down. But it was just a fun night. I had my dreads at the time. People were saying, "You look like Lennox Lewis." One guy said, "I'm even tell people this is Lewis." But of course, Lennox Lewis is a little bit taller than me. um, I might be a little lighter skin color, but Lewis was always my favorite fighter. Just the way he conducted himself, very calm and all that. But it was such a fun night. Me and my mom, man, we would go to fights. We went to the Akinwande fight, but it was just an energetic night, man. And one night, years later, we were watching a show on the Travel Channel. Me and my mother. It was called Fame and Fortune, and they were showing the after party. And we're watching. We're like, "Hey, that's us." So they ended up. I called the station and found out, or my mom did, and found out when they were going to replay it, and we found out and we recorded it. I managed at the time VHS. I put it on DVD so I'd have it because VHS tapes don't last long. So I thought that was cool. It's kind of weird to just be watching TV and you're like, "Oh shoot, I'm on TV" without warning. But like I said, it was a great night. Lennox Lewis came in the ring at 251 or 252, highest of his career. McCall was around 237 or something, but at one point in the fight, he just put his hands down like he was giving up. He was shaking his head like, "I don't want to be there." And, we couldn't hear the announcing because we were in the crowd. But later I went home and watched it, and it was just an odd night. And I hope McCall's doing a lot better. Um, wow, I can't believe that was 26 years ago. The first fight I ever went to was Lennox Lewis versus Lionel Butler at the Arco Arena in Sacramento, California. And I remember right when I walked in and saw the ring down there all lit up, I was like, oh my goodness. It was like the best feeling ever. I was like, wow, like I could just be here for just, I could just watch this, man. I didn't want to leave. I ended up driving to Sacramento that night and driving back. I was so sleepy. Woo, the Most High had to protect me that night because I don't know how else I could have driven back from pretty much no sleep because I was so excited the night before I hardly slept. But yeah, drove from San Diego all the way to Vegas, and as we're going, you see these billboards as you get closer and closer to the Hilton Hotel. I think that's where Tyson stopped Trevor Burbick. Well, I know it's where Tyson stopped Trevor Burbick. But as you're driving, you start to see these billboards saying payback or playback, meaning, is Lewis going to get payback or is McCall going to get playback? Lewis got payback, but not in the way he kind of wanted. You can't really knock out a guy that doesn't want to engage. I've always said that. And it's not Lewis's fault. And it's almost not, I mean, it's McCall's fault because of, his situation, but, Don King or someone kind of, I don't want to say forced him into the fight, but had him going in there when he wasn't mentally sound to do it. So shout out to Lennox Lewis. Shout out to everyone I met that night. Lennox Lewis's mother, Violet. His wife's name is Violet too. That's interesting. Shout out to everybody I met that night. Still trying to think of Glenn. That's the guy I was trying to think of. Lennox Lewis's high school buddy. His name was Glenn Pendergast or something like that. If you're out there, man, hit me up on IG, Jonathan Roos 619. Love to hear from you. We haven't talked since 1997, I think. You were living in Canada. But man, that was a fun night. When we got there, it was daytime, freezing during the day. By the end of the night, and by the end of the fight, it was night. And I just started meeting people. People started coming up to me. And Frank Maloney's mom, just the classiest, nicest lady. Someone invited us to the after party, so we went. Took us a while to find it, but it was at the All Star Cafe. There was a fighter named, a guy on the undercard from Ireland, I believe, named Gary something. If you see me too, holla at me. He's the one that took the picture of me and Lennox Lewis. There was no cell phones back then, so I had like a little disposable camera. But great times with me and my mother. Very, very fun times. I'll never forget that. 26 years ago. Wow. Kind of seems longer ago than that when I think about it. But it was cool being in the Hilton. I remember one thing, and my mom noticed too. The ring was really loud. Like when the fighters would move around the ring. When they moved, it was just pow, pow, pow. Like there was no type of cushion or anything. I don't know which fighter that was best for, McCall or Lewis, but we know Lewis got the win, I believe, in the 5th round. And wow, 26 years ago. LSR forever. The reason I do this, make sure to comment, share, subscribe, and be fearless. Yay, yay.